Hi there, and welcome back to another BobBlast. I'm Bob Burridge. But before we get into this BobBlast, I just want to jump in here a little bit and talk about my appreciation and certainly express my love and appreciation for Joe Miller of Cheap Joe's Art Stuff Catalog and Cheap Joe's Art Store there in Boone, North Carolina. As you all may know, our good friend has passed away recently, and so he's affected all of our lives and certainly started my art career with all those great prices in his art catalog. Now, you have to admit, you did start off getting an order from Cheap Joe's art catalog. I know I did and started. He's been my friend ever since. In fact, he's been a friend with everybody, as you all know. And if you know, he's a jokester. And when I was doing a workshop there in Boone, he'd come by in that character costume of his and make us all laugh. He was a great guy to laugh along with. So he did himself and Vincent van Gogh a great honor by doing some of his Vincent for brushes performances. I hope you had the honor to see Joe as Vincent. Now, you know how much I love to paint on paper, certainly good watercolor paper, and it's all about surfaces, whether it's a cold press surface or a hot press surface. Cheap Joe had the paper I love to work on, his Kilimanjaro paper. So we'll tie it in that way, and you'll know how he has affected me for the past 35 years of my art career. Hey, enjoy the BobBlast. Hi there, and welcome back to another BobBlast. Hi, I'm Bob Burridge, and this one is all about surfaces to paint on for us painters. You know, we have so many choices, whether it's paper, canvas, wooden panels, rocks, whatever, but this is such an important subject matter. This is going to be in two parts. This part will be all about paper. The second part will be about painting on canvases. But first, let's get into paper. Glorious paper. I love paper, don't we all? You know, I like watercolor paper. It comes in 300-pound paper. See, it's very stiff. It also comes in 140-pound. It's not as stiff, very flexible, very flexible. But what I like about the 300-pound paper, this one happens to be Kilimanjaro from Cheap Joe's, and it really takes a beating. Okay, that's the paper. Standard sizes. It also comes in these convenient pads. This is great to take on workshops when you don't have to carry so much stuff. This is a Fabriano 50 sheets. Look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? It also comes in either hot press or cold press. This is cold press, which means it's going to be very smooth, very, very beautiful smooth. Great for watercolors. This is going to be more cold press. You know, it's going to be more of a texture, another watercolor. Last time I was down in Mexico in one of those workshops, it was great. But look at this. Strathmore makes for us oil painters, oil painting paper. It already has the gesso on it. You can't tell. It's perfect for oil sketching. I just love that stuff. You know, and let me show you some examples and how I use them. So remember, everything I just showed you is what I use in the studio. Okay, it's my favorite stuff. And how I use it, well, here are two full sheets, 22 by 30, 300-pound paper. Look, it's like a carpet. It's so thick. And it really takes a beating. So I like to put them together as a diptych. They're also, 300-pound paper is really great, even for the small ones, when I'm doing my warm-ups. This is a collage. And what I like about it, when I add all this extra stuff on top of the paper, it stays flat. And again, more collage work, and I like to work a series. Anyway, this is how I use it in my studio, but let me show you some painting. So now I'm going to do a painting demo on 140. Whether it's cold press or hot press, we'll see the difference. Here's my cold press, which means it's slightly textured. Here's my hot press, which means it's very smooth. Now I'm going to do a painting. Okay, well, I may as well do a painting of a wine bottle. Here we go. I'm going to use lots of water when I do this. Almost as much as if it were a watercolor. So here's the bottle. And here we go. Boy, we have it right in the middle, don't I? There you go. So it's very smooth, almost like a water. No, actually, this is the textured. This has a little bit of texture. That's what I thought. There we go. All right. So let's use the smooth. Which means it's hot press. There we go. Very much like a watercolor. Let's put it on a table. A little bit of a table. Here we go. One of the nice things about the texture is that it can grab the paint, where this will act more. See, it flows. It flows a little bit. There's a little bit of texture in there, but not a whole lot. I treat the smooth, the hot press, like a watercolor. Let's go in there, kick it up. Oof. I'm paint on both at the same time. This is just a quick demo so you can see how the paint flows. Make sure I anchor it. They both take a beating because it's really good paper, I should tell you. This is the Kilimanjaro. I also like Fabriano. There you go. See, one flows a little differently. Smooth, whereas the textured I can treat it almost like an oil painting. Let's put a little bit of these colors in the front. Whew. Doing this quickly. How do you like the rain in the background? I do. We don't get to hear it that much. So I'm enjoying it. There we go. And I'm gonna make the background. Oh, let's make the background lots of white. Yeah, we go. Oh, almost neutral. See, I can throw a lot of paint on here. And it takes a beating. Well, this is good paper. And the better papers like this will stay flat. See, look. Even though I'm adding lots of paint, I'm really beating it up. There we go. Isn't this fun? And here's the smooth. I can move it around much like a watercolor. Where it bleeds a little bit, you know. I'll do it on purpose so you can see it bleeding down in here. Really soft. See, it just flows beautifully. And that's the effect you want. So I hope you enjoyed that demo. These are the paper products that I use in my studio every day. So I really like them a lot. So remember now there's part 2 coming up here, and that's all about painting on canvases and also wooden panels and anything else too. So we'll cover that one in part 2. Hey, I'll see you on the next BobBlast. Thanks for watching. Hi there, and welcome back to another BobBlast. I'm Bob Burridge, and this one is part 2 of painting on the surface. Part 1 was all about painting on paper. This one is all about canvases and other products like wooden panels and cradle panels. You can see behind me some of the sizes that I use in my studio, and these are canvases behind me. I just love canvases. You know, when you paint on it, you get that talk back that go boom, 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 boom. I love painting on canvases. But I also love painting on what I'm about to show you. So the other surfaces would be, here's a Frederick's board. It's canvas, and it comes this way, already stretched on a nice little plywood board. Very convenient, especially if you're out plein air painting. You don't have to take the whole big canvas, so they're nice too. On the high end, we have ampersand boards and canvases. They've got all the products. They're like super fantastic, excellent quality. And we also have Masterpiece canvases, another company that makes beautiful canvases. Then if you want to save a little bit of money, over here at Cheap Joe's. I love these. This is what I use in my studio. They're not gessoed. This one is not gessoed, but this is ready to go. But I like to put my own gesso, which I'm going to show you in a minute. They come in all the popular sizes, 10 by 10s. These are called really good cradle painting panels. I like that. Really good. And they are. And they're perfect for the way I paint. I'm a little rough on them, and they take a beating. So let me show you this wonderful panel here. It's called a Prime Extra Fine Art Board. It's heavy duty. It's got the slots in the back already. But let me show you how I get it ready for painting. So I put gesso on everything. Boards, canvases that even have their own gesso. I re-gesso everything with this Utrex professional gesso. It's my favorite. I've been using it since 1966. It's great stuff. Really thick and smooth. Real smooth, and that's what I like about it. All right. Here we have the Prime Extra Fine Art Board. It needs gesso on it. That way, my acrylic paints or my oil paints will stick better to it. Right now, it's just pretty raw. So I have a gesso brush. There are brushes just for gessoing. And I can also trowel it on with a piece of cardboard, troweling it on like that. So here we go. Wet the brush, always wet the brush. And I put a lot on. Boy, is this ever a beautiful product. Smooth too, and heavy duty. Holy cow. So I'll put on 2 thin coats. 2 thin coats. And I love the texture of my brush. It's called a brush just for gessoing. I don't use a real good brush. Do the sides. Do the sides too at the same time. And my studio here is in California, so this will dry within an hour. I could be painting on it. Now this is an acrylic gesso. Yeah. Perfect for my acrylic paints. Also for my oil painting too. Very nice, very beautiful. Now I have my own DNA all over it, and now I have ownership with a little bit of texture in there, and that's how I like to paint in my studio on all these different surfaces. So again, I re-gesso everything, no matter how it arrives here in my studio, because I love the effect of my paints, the Holbein paints, on the Utrex gesso. It's just more professional. It makes it a lot easier for me. I hope you enjoyed these 2 videos on surfaces and explains at least what I do. And there are much more surfaces to paint on, of course, but this is what I use. Hey, I'll see you on the next BobBlast. And so I hope this clears up all those questions you may have about surfaces, whether I paint on canvas or paper or the wooden panels or boards or anything else. I hope I was able to solve some of those problems you may have. Use good paper. That's the end message. Hey, I hope to see you on the next BobBlast.